Man, y'all know what it is, the real two-tet, all praise to God for everything. I mean, every single thing. I'm here with my brother, Marathon Manny. We have a special guest with us tonight. His name is Nate. Before we always start, we always do a mental health check-in. How you feeling, Nate?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored, man, for sure.
No question. How about yourself, Marathon?
Cool, man. Just got off of work. Ready to work.
I'm telling you, hey, you already know what I say. I know Manny ain't gonna like this, but as long as I put my 2 feet on the ground every day, it's a win, man. All praise to God for it all. So, Nate, man, take us back to the beginning, man. When did you start your financial journey, man?
First, before we even start, man, I wanna give all praise to the Almighty. I want to ask Him to bless all the ears and the eyes of the listeners, and bless the tongues of the speakers, man, so everybody can get the message, and we can speak the message, they can receive the message, and to glorify His name. Amen.
Amen.
Well, my financial journey started, I mean, just pretty much, probably like anybody else. A lot of young brothers just from the DMV or the rural neighborhoods that just come up that just ain't really had too much. So my entrepreneur journey actually started in the street here. So my financial journey really started from just having a lack of resources, man. I mean, everybody, it's just simple math. If you don't have nothing, or you're accustomed to having nothing, then you're gonna see stuff and you want it, so you're gonna go after it. I ain't come from no long line of family wealth or nothing like that. And the only type of real money I seen was, dudes in the streets. So I just had I jumped off into the streets because that's where the money was at. That's where more was at. You know what I'm saying? I wanted more than what I had. Just like anybody else. So I bumped my head countless times. In the street, in and out of prison and stuff like that. But every time I would go to prison, I would read. I would work out. I wasn't with none of the BS. I wouldn't be in there getting high or nothing like that, getting into a whole bunch of beefs. I just had to be straight up on me. I'm a civilian. That's how I'm rocking. I ain't going for nothing. I'm a good dude, and God blessed me to have, all right bits. You know what I'm saying? I met some great people in there. It really was like college for a street dude. You know what I'm saying? I turned prison into college for me. So I always read when I was in there. So me reading and put some fat on my head. It let me know that it's more than out there than what I've been subjecting myself to, you know what I'm saying? And I always just tell myself, every time I've been in, I was like, man, because I'm a God-fearing man. I always say, I know God ain't put me here, that's all I can do. I knew I was smarter, I knew I could do better, I knew that people that love me will accept me for whatever I do, but they expect more for me, you know what I'm saying, from me. It wasn't no real live entrepreneurs in my family. My brother, shout out to my brother, shout out to Chop. He was an entrepreneur. He had a lot of different entrepreneur things, like growing up. But he ain't had no support system. You know what I'm saying? He ain't have. It was his stuff was a lot. His stuff was short lived. He's still an entrepreneur right now, and he do good for himself. But my last time, man, I hit the ground running for a few reasons. The reason I really jumped off into the entrepreneur space to get to where I'm at right now was that I bumped my head enough in the streets where that stuff wasn't an option no more, man. Every time you go in, you're like, I ain't doing that when I get home, you know what I'm saying? You trying other please. But this last time I came home, when I went in, I had my first daughter. And I came home, she was almost 4 years old. And I was like, so I'm like, nah, I ain't going back to that. I ain't going back to that, but I really didn't know. I thought I knew that I had my mind made up, but it got to a point where as though I really was going to go back, but God stopped me. And when some things gotta die for other things to live. Let me stop right there. Free Monty, free Monty Hamlin, free Amon Hamlin, and free Noogie Reds, man. You know what I'm saying? My best friend. Me and him would run the streets together, and I would go in, come out, he'd go in, come out, I go in. So we had that type of pattern for a long time. But this time, man, literally when I was about to make that transition, like, nah, I still can do this. You know what I'm saying? I got one more run in me, not one more bit, one more run. God sat him down. You know what I'm saying? God, he got grabbed up. You know how I go on the streets. You know what I'm saying? Other dudes can't hold their water, this, that, and the third. So, but when he got grabbed up, man, and I was riding. I had my daughter with me, and that was just a wake up call for me, man. I'm like, nah, it's game over. I can't do that no more. So long story short, man, that's when I really knew that I wasn't gonna ever go back. That was my point. Before I thought I knew, but then I was like, nah. But all I can say is, man, if anybody that's in the streets, when you make that decision that the streets ain't the option no more, or whatever you're doing that ain't working, once you make that decision, once you let it go, man, you gonna focus all your energy to make something else work. I chose the dump truck game, man, and it been game over ever since, man. It been game over ever since. I've been able to live how I want to live, man, provide for my family. I've been able to help my partners. I teach them get in the game. We got a CDL school. It opened up so many doors for not just me, myself, but a whole lot of other people, man. So I know that little introduction I just said, man, if you get anything out of that, is, man, make that conscious decision. When you make that conscious decision, God gonna do the rest. He gonna line you up.
For sure. So look, how long have you been in the dump truck business? And if somebody wanted to get in, how can they contact you personally?
For the dump truck business, you can reach me at thequarterticketclub.com, thequarterticketclub.com. You can reach me on IG, the Quarter Ticket Club on IG. I've been in the dump truck game since 2016. You know what I'm saying? Since 2016. I mean, I came home in 2016. Within that period, my homeboy got jammed up. I changed my life. Like it was like that. It was a split decision. And just in that short period of time, that's how fast God could work, man, in anybody's life. For sure.
So let me ask you this: how the response has been from the dump truck business? Have you helped a lot of people? So how many people you say you have helped?
So I got about, I think 360. I got about 360 plus people inside the Quarter Ticket Club, where we teach an array of things. Dump trucking being a primary thing. So dump trucking, credit. We got real estate in there. We got e-commerce and stuff like that. So we got the Maryland CDL. So we got a CDL program that we hands-on train Maryland and DC residents. So along the way, and there's people that I done helped long before the Quarter Ticket Club even started. So to count the number of people that I done helped, I can't put a number on it, but inside the Quarter Ticket Club, it's about 360 plus people in there getting some game.
Changing lives.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. So does it matter if you got like a felony on your record?
Man, I got about 7 felonies.
I
got 4 major felonies, man. I'm trying to get it, junk stuff expunged and all type of stuff, man. But you don't need, if you got a record, man, what you've been through ain't who you gonna become. You know what I'm saying?
Said that.
What you been through, that don't make who you is, man. That's a part of your makeup. That's a playbook for you to look back on, to learn from your mistakes and get some game for going forward, man. I got endless felonies, man. My whole team, my whole yard felonied up. You know what I'm saying? We got like 15 trucks down there, man. Owner operators, regular drivers. We got a whole bunch of stuff, man. Everybody in my yard, felonied up. Not that I designed it like that. I mean, people that work for me personally, I either been in prison with them, they got a felony or something. I met probably 90% of my actual network that we make money with. I met 90% of them inside of prison. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't designed it like that. It's just how God, you know what I'm saying? If you came from where I came from and you going where I'm going, I lock in with you.
No question.
It's just, it's like-minded. You dig what I'm saying?
No question. And the real estate, I got a chance to talk to you on the phone, man. And you said the real estate, you're not too much into that, right? Or you have some problems with your friend, your people got some problems.
Yeah, my
so
buddy,
talk about that.
He was going to meet me up. He my man, King of the Ratified. Shout out to King of the Ratified. You can get at him at King of the Ratified on IG. But I always wanted to get into real estate from the get-go. I used to read books in prison, man. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all types of Robert Kiyosaki, man. All the Donald Trump books, all type of real estate stuff. So I knew the real estate was a place to park your wealth.
Yeah.
So I'm the dump truck dude. So I'm gonna run me a bag up in the trucking, but you gotta park that money somewhere, or you gonna go blow it down G-Town or something like that.
No question.
So I knew that real estate was a good place to park your money. Real estate, stock market, all types of different things that and you can make money in those different fields. and I studied it. I've been to 1,000 real estate seminars, man. I done read books and stuff like that. But the reason that I'm so personable with everybody that's in the Quarter Ticket Club is I realized one thing is that from my buddy Jay King of the Ratified, I didn't get into real estate. I always had some money, I always had the knowledge, but I didn't get into it. I didn't buy a piece of property until I met him. So I'm the type of person I need. Man, you sell ice cream. You do 10,000 a month selling ice cream. Show me how I do that. You got a book. I buy the book, but I need you to be like, look, man, this is where you get the ice cream from. You dig what I'm saying? So I make sure I go out my way for people that I help because I understand how the mind work. I know people just like need a hand walk.
For
so
sure.
my buddy,
for sure,
with the real estate, you know, and I seen him from start. I started trucking, and 2 years after I started trucking. You know, we talk all the time, and just out of nowhere, he like, man, I'm going into real estate. So I seen his progression in that real estate. I'm like, look, so the next property you got, so I'm buying it. You know what I'm saying? And he came with a deal. I bought it, a duplex up Baltimore, and we just been locked in. So if you know, the real estate, I ain't in it, but I'm not a real estate dude.
You an investor.
I'm an investor. Like, look, you got to play. It makes sense because I done already did my research.
For sure.
But I gotta buy something from somebody I know that ain't gonna get me.
Yeah,
you know
for
what I'm saying?
For sure.
You dig what I'm saying? So
For sure.
Yeah, but it's definitely a good place to park your money at.
Let me ask you, if a person that's 18 really have no sense of direction, what would you tell them to invest in? You can always say invest in yourself, but what's something you would tell them to invest into?
Somebody that's 18, I would immediately tell them to invest in a skill set, right? If they don't really got no money, I would tell them to invest in a skill set. I would tell them to invest in their credit. Matter of fact, let me run it. Let me run my 18-year-old talk.
Yeah, for sure.
If I could talk to my 18-year-old self,
Yes,
or an 18-year-old walking in here right now, I tell them the first two things I tell them to do is anybody in your network, your parent, your cousin, or somebody like that, tell them add you as an authorized user on their credit card.
There you
go. Get your credit right.
Yes, sir.
Learn some free stuff on YouTube about credit, or get with dude that they be talking about the Quarter Ticket Club. Get with him. He got some credit stuff. But learn about credit and structure your credit profile.
Sure.
That's the first thing I tell him to do. After that, he can get a credit card from, you know, Navy Federal or something like that. It's gonna give him a couple dollars. I take some of that money, and then I would invest in getting a CDL or a need-based business, preferably a CDL, because I know what it's gonna do. Anybody that got a CDL ain't never broke and ain't never gotten without a job. So if he gonna get some money coming in off the CDL, so I would get my credit right, get a CDL, and then once you get a CDL and you got your credit right, I would drive for somebody, make you $1,500, $1,000, $2,000, whatever you gonna get a week from your job. But while you driving that truck, right, listen to podcasts, take your check, invest in some mentorships or some courses or something like that. You ain't gotta go to college. I ain't against college, but I'm saying it's so much knowledge out here that you don't have to go there.
Sure.
So get your credit right, get a CDL, jump in the truck, and turn your truck into college. So if you spend 8 hours in a dump truck or a tractor trailer or whatever trucking lane you choose, and you listening to podcasts and you going over courses and stuff that you paid for, and you dumping it in your mind 8 hours a day, you getting paid to go to college.
Yes,
you
sir.
dig what I'm saying?
Yes,
Instead
sir.
of paying to go to college. You dig what I'm saying? So anybody that's 18, I don't care if 28, I don't care if you're 38.
It's never too late.
Yeah, it's never too late. Get your credit right, jump in somebody's truck, and get on some podcasts, listen to some podcasts like the one we on right here.
Yes, sir.
Get some game from some pod, and then start pouring into your mind. Don't keep listening to the music. I love rap music. I love all types of music.
No question.
Until you start feeding your mind something, you ain't gonna know how to go nowhere.
Never gonna grow. For sure. So with all that being said, what do you like? Because in the black community, man, we always talk about generational wealth. We can't attain it. You know, we always held back. What did you attest that to? Because the thing is, it's like we make a lot of excuses. We said a white man this, white man this. But we lost that race years ago. How can we move the pendulum forward? Like, what can we do to move forward? And teaching our youngest, the youth, like, look, hey, invest in this, do this and do that and do that. Get your life in order. Discipline, you know, all that.
To be honest with you, man, and this is my personal opinion, and you the first person that ever asked me this, man, so I can't wait to really get this answer out. The only way we're going to change the pendulum for the youth or in the black community, man, we have to make businesses, businessmen, businesswomen, entrepreneurs, we gotta make it cool. And it sounds cliche, but it's literally the answer to that's the reason why you don't see me on my IG with a suit on and trying and looking a different way. I want a youngin' to see me like, nah, he look like somebody from around my way. If I can make being a businessman cool and everybody that's a businessman make it look cool, then they'll stop looking to rappers. I hate when other people because they drag the rappers in the mud. But literally though, and I used to rap, and I still love rapping this, that, and the third. But I know the difference. I know the difference between entertainment and pouring some knowledge into my head. So if we make starting businesses, we make generational wealth cool. If we make learning cool, then it'll change the dynamic. But what's cool is popping the pills, banging the gun, riding, doing a bunch of stuff that don't set up no generational wealth. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, it's counterproductive. So the things that's leading us is what's hurting us. So we gotta change that dynamic. I don't know how, but a start is, man, you just gotta make entrepreneurship cool. You dig what I'm saying? And generational wealth cool, or you know what I'm saying, making money. But another thing that's more critical, just as critical as that, youngers don't have no options. It ain't enough people reaching out to them saying you can have options. And I told this story 1,000 times to my partners. Literally, when I graduated from high school, I didn't know no legit way to make some money. It sounds funny, but I was sitting thinking about what I'm gonna do for some money. Down that I graduated, right? I was hitting the tree out front of the house, and I'm like, the only legit thing I could think about was McDonald's, Joe. I was like, McDonald's, or I could go to college, but college gonna be 4 years without no money coming in. And at the time, I'm already trapping, I'm already getting money. So I'm like, none of the other stuff really made sense because I didn't know no other ways. Nobody told me I can go to an apprenticeship, be a welder, make $30, $30 an hour, get up to a journeyman. Ain't nobody tell me I can get a CDL. Nobody even told me I could be a flagger and make $20 an hour. I just literally I didn't know any options. So if we put the options out there for kids to make money, you know what I'm saying? Even if they gotta get jammed up once, if they try the streets real quick, get jammed up, once they get jammed up, at least they got an option like, no, I can get some money like this. Sure. I'm gonna go work with, if somebody knows somebody that's getting some money, they legit money, 9 times out of 10, at least they got that option. You know what I'm saying? And they gotta be some alright money. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep telling the kids, go get a job, work at McDonald's, man.
Question.
I ain't knocking McDonald's, but McDonald's ain't paying you enough. You know, it's Anderson Burson.
Put you in a rat race.
Yeah, so we need options and we need to make entrepreneurship cool. It's doing its thing though. You know what I'm saying? It's getting popular, but those are my 2 answers for that, man.
For sure. So let me ask you this. What's your take on this right here? Everybody can't be a boss. Do you believe that personally?
I do believe that personally, right? And I didn't believe it for a long time because I thought everybody would think like me. I was in prison, man. Shout out to G's. If G's ever run across this, man, he changed my life. G's and my sister. I used to read a lot, like I said, in prison. I'm reading. If I ain't reading, I'm working out or playing chess or something with the mind. I'm working the mind and the body and the spirit. I'm going to church and all that, right? But G's, I was reading 48 Laws of Power, and I was reading all the Robert Greene books. So I was reading one of them, Jones War or something. And so I was telling G's, right? I'm like, look, man, it was something, whatever I was telling him that he had to do, because I was really inflicting my mindset on him. Like, yeah, G, because I messed with him real tough. So I'm telling him, and he probably like, as I would always talk to him, just this one particular time, he said, look, Butterman, because they called me Butterman when I was in the streets. He was like, look, Butterman. He said, some people generals, man, some people soldiers, man. You know, some people, captains, some people soldiers, man. He said, listen, man, I'm just a soldier, man. I ain't meant to do that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't meant to be a boss. He told me that at one of the most clear-minded states that I've ever been in. You know what I'm saying? You're in prison, you ain't drinking a drug, and you on a mind state, right? And it opened my mind up, blew my top. He said, because I was trying to put him on some game, like some real like boss talk, like, look, you know what I'm saying? We can booty start businesses or whatever I was saying to him. He said, look, son, I'm just a soldier. So it let me know that everybody not cut out to be a boss, but everybody can be free. And before you ask your next question, I gotta say this. You don't have to be an entrepreneur, you just gotta be free. So freedom is this. if somebody else is controlling your time, you aren't free. So if you have to wake up in the morning to go to a 9 to 5 to survive, if you have to survive off the 9 to 5, you not free,
No
right?
question.
So I'm gonna break down this slavery real quick. I did this on the Incarcerated Lives Matter podcast interview. I broke it down to him, man, and free James Hutchinson too. So the first slave is the first modern day slave is a person that got a job. So that's living paycheck to paycheck. He make $2,000 at his job. His rent a G, his car note $500. He got to eat all the $5, for example, right? And he got to repeat this cycle. So he a modern day slave. He just a workforce slave.
Sure.
And then you got the second one. You got a house slave.
Yeah.
A house slave is a business owner. A house slave is a business owner that physically has to work inside of their business for their business to move, right? A business owner ain't exempt from slavery. If you have to work inside of your business in order for your business to move, that's a house slave. But you in a better position than the 9 to 5 slave. You'll be a little bit closer. Yeah, you kind of like
a little more.
Yeah, you kind of like an indentured servant.
Yeah,
All you need
right.
is a little bit more. You need a little bit knowledge, a little bit leverage to get out that position. And then let me dial you back to the runaway slave. The runaway slave is a street dude. He ain't enslaved by the business, he ain't enslaved by the 9 to 5. He bucking the whole system and he's selling drugs, right? But you know what happened when they catch the runaway slave. You dig what I'm saying? When they catch the runaway slave, they gonna bust his ass. He gonna wish he wasn't a runaway. You dig what I'm saying? He ain't the 9 to 5 slave gonna be sitting there looking at him like, I told you, Slim, don't come out there. Don't do that. I told you, don't do that. So the street dude that's out there selling drugs, he busting the system. He living his life. He free. He can wake up when he want. He own his time. He pumping. But when a slave master catch you, he gonna put you on a real plantation, and that's the prison system, right? So then you get then you go all the way to the freedom. The freedom is the investor, the business owner and investor. And all that. So if you invest in something and then people want to get rich, right? And I'm all about that, right? But real wealth is you having assets that cover your expenses without you having to be there. So if for you to live comfortably throughout the month, right? If your house note, your rent or whatever that is, costs 2 G's, and then your food costs $900. Your kid's school costs XYZ. So if your monthly expenses is $6,500, right, or $5,000 or whatever it's going to be, if you have an asset that covers that pays for that, and you don't have to physically be there for it to happen, then that's freedom. You don't need $2 million and $20 million and get up there. Now you can go shoot for that because you got time to do it.
For sure.
But you're not truly free until you have something that's making the same amount of money that your expenses is, and then you free. So that's my slavery game. That's my slavery talk. You dig what I'm saying? So I forgot where we was even going with the question, but I had to get, a slave jump in there.
This show,
Yeah,
right now.
This is the real, man. We let our guests take over, man. We
Yes.
don't try to, interfere with what you're saying. We just want you to take over and just be real with the people because this is the real. So let me ask you this, man. I was talking to Manny off camera before you got here. I was saying, like, you don't really have to be smart. You just have to be disciplined.
You just gotta be
You know what I'm
disciplined.
saying? Discipline is everything. What's your take on discipline? How far can discipline take you once you train your mind? The mindset is everything. The mind is so powerful. Just like you were saying, your mind and your body is stronger than your mind. But your mind is what's going to take you to that destination.
Absolutely.
And your mind already have to be there. You know what I'm saying? Destination you want to arrive to. Talk about that, man. The discipline.
Discipline is the difference between discipline can take you far, right? And discipline is good. And the reason I don't like to give discipline a lot of credit. I don't give discipline all the credit that it deserves because I'm not the best disciplined person.
Okay.
But I am, but I know that if I was more disciplined, how far to take me. So let me tell them that.
Right.
Discipline, you need that, right? I'm probably more disciplined than somebody that's listening to this, you know what I'm saying? So you need more discipline, but I'm saying that's something that I struggle with, right? But I'm gonna tell you what's gonna take you far. Faith gonna take you further than anything in the world, right? Discipline will help you. Discipline is a tool in your plan. So first you gotta have a plan. Discipline is a tool that you attach to it to make sure it goes smooth. But you gotta have a plan and you gotta have some faith, no matter who you believe in or what you believe in. But that's gonna take you to where you gotta go. You gotta attach discipline to that. Now, if you ain't faith based or you don't have no belief, you can get far with some discipline. You know what I'm saying? And discipline is so broad that when you ask me that, I'm just thinking about the things that I'm not disciplined in, but I'm disciplined in a whole lot of areas that could take you far. But to answer your question, you gotta have some type of discipline, man. You gotta have some restraint. But discipline only, to me, is only gonna work inside of a plan. So if you want to get fit, you gotta have you can't say I got the discipline to work out. But what's your workout plan? You gotta throw something in there. If you want to make money in business, you still gotta have discipline to attach to your business plan. So discipline is one of the best tools that you can have, but you have to attach them to a plan, a strategy, a goal, and none of that stuff gonna work without your mind state being planted in some type of faith or some type of belief that you even gonna get there. You feel me? So I ain't mean to wet on discipline, because discipline is that. You need
no
that.
question.
But without that other stuff, because I done got to places without discipline.
Okay.
That's the only reason I'm saying that. But I'm not telling nobody by far, I'm not telling you that you don't need that and it's not essential. You dig what I'm saying? But you can fumble up on a destination. But to hold your position, you might want to attach some discipline to it. You know what I'm saying?
I like that, man. I like that. So,
I'm
telling you, man.
So don't feel bad if you don't have discipline. You know what I'm saying? But along the way, you're going to need to get some of that.
But really, it's all your faith in the Most High.
Yeah, it's your faith, man.
That's all it's about.
It's your faith. That's my superpower.
No question. So we talked on the phone. You said you had a podcast. Elaborate, the things you talked about in your podcast and what your podcast is truly about.
Yeah, so my podcast, it's available on all platforms. We going to crank it up back in August. At the end of August. But my podcast was basically just me and my family. So once I went legit, once my eyes opened up, once I got out the matrix and all that stuff, and God was blessing me, the first people I went to help was my family. I knew I had an array of information. I knew I was getting money, and I'm like, look, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all on a slave ship, you know what I'm saying? Y'all 9 to 5, and look, man, this a whole nother type of game, you know what I'm saying? So I went genuinely to share my information with my family so that we can move collectively as a family unit. So I started a podcast, The Wealth Journey, but it was literally us just having meetings every Sunday about how we're gonna move together as a family with some knowledge. So everything I would ingest or I was doing or anything I learned and everybody else in my family, we would bring it all to the table and see how we can move collectively as a family. But I did what we're doing now, and I recorded it, put it on a platform, and and let other people and other families listen in on me and my family on how to build generational wealth. So it was just, it was what it was, man. People love it. Somebody hit me, we ain't did it in like a year, maybe 18 months. A partner of mine hit me like, man, I just was listening to the podcast, man, and you said something. I'm like, what podcast? I'm thinking you're talking about earning leisure or something. I'm like, oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? But we cranked it up at the end of August. To dive back in it. We touch bases. We still have meetings early here and there, but we want to, as far as the podcast, we're gonna crank it up. But everybody should start with their family. Once you get some information, man, everybody wanna go help their homeboy or go tell everybody in the world and look, man, this what I got. Nah, man, take that game to your mother, brother, sister, and your father, man, because them gonna be the people that's gonna be there. They need that help too. Know what I'm saying?
No question.
For sure.
Now you just said that, man, because I live in the Jewish community, right? And they had a family meeting. My family do that too. We formed a business, etc., etc. But I want to ask you this. Why is it that us black people can't get together, but the Spanish people get together, the Italian people get together? Every time they get together, they exceed. But when we get together, it's always, competition. I want to do better than him. I want to do better than him. I want to do better than her. It's like when you get the information, you trying to, take a number 2 on somebody. When you get it, like, what is that though? Where did that come from, man?
It's a twofold. I always say it's 50% our fault, 50% their fault. So if we always take the blame on it, like, look, we doing all right to be a people that have been through 400 years of slavery and then 100 years of systematic oppression and stuff like that. So it's not and it still go on now, and I ain't on the conspiracy theory tip, but I'm saying this stuff is 50% by design, 50% us like you want to stay there. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't doing enough as a unit to get there. You dig what I'm saying? In one of my podcasts, my buddy Eric Balmer, a real deep dude, he was telling me, he was like, listen, in the Jewish community, they have meetings every this, that, and the third. He said for a black family to catch up with a Jewish community, you will have to double down. You will have to do 3 meetings a week, and whatever it was the Jewish was doing, he was saying you would have to do double that for over extended period of time just to catch up. So it's that we don't really have that infrastructure because we came from 400 years of slavery and 100 years of oppression, and always, this is my own take on it, that man, genetically and you know, ancestrally or whatever, like Slim, we still got in our DNA, we got trauma in our DNA. You know what I'm saying? You think that it's you know, black people lazy or they don't want to come together or something like that. Like Slim, we still just like traumatized for real, just on a DNA tip. You feel me? Right. So we got some healing to do, we got some progression to do, but definitely we can do better, but man, we done came a lot far. You know what I'm saying? We came far, man, and we got you know, a long place. We got far to go, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? You see the youngers, they get high and they shooting up stuff and all that. Man, I mean, a little bit part of that, man, they self-medicate. And they don't know no better. They self-medicate, man. You see them, they on drugs. They put the drugs here. The youngers on Percocet, they don't make Percocets. You know what I'm saying? They a younger that take E-pills, he never made one. You dig what I'm saying? The younger that he don't grow the weed and smoke it. You know, it's here. No question. He don't know how to make a gun. He got an illegal gun before he is old enough to get buy one from the store. Exactly. You dig what I'm saying? Exactly. So it's a lot of it by design, it's self-medication and all that, man, but we got to understand that and then move forward. But it starts with inside the family. You will have to say, all right, so the government failed the community failed the family failed the children. So you got to reverse engineer it. You got to go family, the family got to say themselves, they got to get right. Then the community gotta come together. You know what I'm saying? If everybody, family get right, then the community can come together. Once the community come together, you ain't gonna need the government. You know what I'm saying? It takes a village to raise a kid. It really do.
So with that being said, man, I want you to ask your question, man. The legacy question. I ain't even gonna tell. I want you to ask your legacy question.
I ain't gonna. I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. This man done left me speechless. I've been sitting there listening. Hey, for one, I want to thank you because you like. Man, this was a gift. For sure. It was a gift, man. Yeah. But I want to ask you this, like, while you here, right? What's the legacy you want to leave behind? What's the impact that you want to leave? Like, what you want to be remembered by? You know.
My legacy, the legacy I want to be remembered by, that's a rough, cause what I want to be remembered by, and what God got in store for me to be remembered by could be 2 different things. And what I want to be remembered by is going to vary every year. It's going to vary every month. It's going to vary every 5 years. Because the more information that I get, the more I want to better myself and stuff like that. Naturally, we all want to be, if we made in the likeness of God, we all want to be praised. So while I'm here, I want to help people, and I want to be praised for it. Not like they worship at my feet. But you know, you want to feel good about your accomplishments. You ever help somebody, and then they just start popping like it was them.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you don't want them to go tell the world, but you like, I
gave you that assist.
Yeah, because I did that. So it's the same thing. Like when people go to church, you know what I'm saying? They praise God. People pray and people praise. So you just like want your praise a little bit. So as far as my legacy concerned is, I want to be remembered for the good things that I did while I was here. I want to help as many people as I can while I'm here, but I want to have some fun too. You know what I'm saying? I want to be like the young dudes once or twice a year. You know what I'm saying? I want to jump in the whip, put a whole bunch of jewelry on. I want to pop me a Perkin-style lunch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I want to feel it like that real quick. You dig what I'm saying? So I want to have some fun while I'm here, then shake back and go help some people. You dig what I'm saying?
Hey, the real.
Yeah, the real. I want to live life to its fullest while impacting life in a positive way. You dig what I'm saying? I want to help as many people as I can. I want to always stay in line with what God wants me to do. So what I want to be remembered by really is whatever God want me to be remembered by. But what I know won't change as far as my legacy is I want to be remembered by the people that I help. I want to be the best father I can, the best husband I can, the best son, brother, everything like to my family. All that stuff is already just bought, understood what I want to do. But as far as like what the world gonna remember me by is whatever God got in store for me. You know what I'm saying? Basically.
And listen, before we get up, I gotta ask you this last question, man. Where did you get that mindset from? I'm asking, did you credit that to prison, or you always knew who you was, even when you was in the streets?
I always knew who I was. For a long time, I always knew who I was. I guess because I was always a thinker. I do want to credit a lot of it to my mother took me to church all the time when I was a kid. So I had different friends. I had church friends. I had hood friends. I had friends in different. I was exposed, and I pay attention to people. If I don't know nothing, I know money and I know people. I pay attention to people. So by me knowing people, I always knew myself. So I always knew that I could, even when I was in the streets, I knew this wasn't it.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, this ain't it. But it was the best thing smoking. So I always knew that I was destined to do something. I always knew I was destined to be great. I knew I was destined to lead. I knew I was destined to be whatever it is God about to have me doing. You know what I'm saying? I was that guy in the street, not because somebody told me that. They told me that too, but I'm saying but because I believed it. You dig what I'm saying? And I believe it. God is in me. You know what I'm saying? So I believe I was that dude from Jump Street. I got the mindset from being I read, so in prison. I got it because I know that anybody else I don't care who he is. I don't care if it's a Jay-Z. I don't care if it's a Elon Musk or whoever. OG told me when I was in the street, nobody is smarter than you. They just know something that you don't know. So Elon Musk ain't raw than me.
No question.
He just know something that I don't know, and he in a position to execute on it.
No question.
You know what I'm saying? Big Meech ain't raw than me.
No question.
Big Meech did more than me in the streets, but he got a 30 piece. You know what I'm saying? He got 30 years. The end of his run was a 30 piece. You know what I'm saying? So no man is better than me. So I'm just that guy because if somebody else that guy, I am too. You know what I'm saying? So the way the mindset came from, I don't know. Maybe just in my DNA, I got it from God, man. That's gonna be my answer to it. You know what I'm saying?
No question. So listen, there you have it, the real, man. Look, I just want to say I appreciate you for coming to brother, man.
Absolutely,
God
man.
bless you, man.
I want to give y'all flowers, man.
Even
let me be on the platform and even voice myself, man. This is a powerful thing. This is the type of stuff I was talking about earlier that youngers don't have no options. You know what I'm saying? Kids can watch y'all on the platform, man, on the podcast, and get some game, and that'll spark something in them, man, that'll save their life, man. So I want to give y'all flowers, and I appreciate y'all for even having me here. You dig what I'm saying?
You know what it is, the real, man, the real. Go ahead, you got something to say, man?
No, I was about to say, man, make sure you shout your Instagram out.
Oh, I'm good.
Everything.
Yeah, I'm the Quarter Ticket Club on Instagram. You can reach me on quarterticketclub.com, the Quarter Ticket Club on Instagram, or I'm on Facebook, Nathan Shop, or you could just catch me in traffic.
Yeah, spirit. The real, man, the real.
Absolutely.